Hi, my name is Chase Bickle, and today I'm just going to be giving a short summary of my research topic um, that focused on corporate social responsibility in the sense of the use of sustainable energy. Mainly in the paper, my point was to enhance the responsibility that corporations should feel for polluting the environment and advancing global warming so that they could perhaps see that a shift to renewable energy sources would be beneficial for everyone in society. Uh, there has already been a huge push to renewable energy sources from corporations that I had mentioned in my paper. Uh, these corporations include like Coca-Cola, Lego, and Ben and Jerry's were just a few. They've all set goals that would help the environment while simultaneously reducing costs for them, making it a win-win for everyone. Um, this example comes from the blog Corporate Social Responsibility with Renewable Energy is Coca-Cola Next. I had also mentioned this in the paper. Coca-Cola has specifically stated that it plans on sourcing 35% of its manufacturing energy from renewable and low carbon power sources within 5 years. So I guess now, in the near future, we'll start seeing if Coca-Cola is actually following through on those plans. Other examples, Ben and Jerry's. This is from an article titled Triple Bottom Line from Investopedia. The author's name is Will Kenton. Ben and Jerry's has supported opposing the use of recombinant bovine growth hormone and genetically modified organisms, and fosters myriad values such as fair trade and climate justice. So they're definitely moving away from harmful hormones and chemicals that could go into their ice cream and moving towards a new sustainable source. And then finally, Lego. They had formed partnerships with organizations like the non-governmental organization NGO, the World Wildlife Fund, stuff like that. In addition, Lego has made a commitment to reduce its carbon footprint and is working towards 100% renewable energy capacity by 2030. So that would definitely be exponential progress from now. So I'd definitely be looking at that in the future. Honestly, what really amazed me during my research was the actual progress that has already been made in terms of renewable energy sources and corporations actually taking responsibility for their actions by switching to cleaner energy so that it could potentially save our own environment. I was expecting way less responsibility that had been taken on by the corporations themselves. In my paper, I had mentioned that according to the EPA, carbon monoxide pollution had decreased 74% since 1990. And EPA had also initiated the Clean Air Act in 1970, so they were definitely trying to start that shift towards renewable energy or just cleaner energy sources since the 70s, and that's definitely made a lot of progress since then. The implementation of renewable energy sources across the country have significantly reduced prices for sustainable energy, almost to the point where it costs as much, if not lower, to use renewable energy sources than to use fossil fuels, gas, all that kind of stuff. Some critics even thought that the creation of more renewable power plants would lead to more air pollution because it would make power plants that were burning fossil fuels run less efficiently than they had in the past. But continuous research had been done on that, and they found that adding renewables significantly decreased air pollution emissions overall, because even though power plants were cycling more, they were generating less electricity and burning a lot less fuel. So it saves money for everyone. This decrease in power plant generation drove down air pollution emissions, overshadowing the effects of cycling. So this is proof that renewable energy sources are actually working across America, and more corporations are getting on board with the social movement to cleaner energy. Another one of my points in the paper was that if the corporations were not going to make the switch for ethical reasons, then the least they could do would be make the switch for financial reasons. I researched the triple bottom line theory that seemed to match up perfectly with this topic. The fact that corporations under this theory needed to focus on profit, people, and the planet pointed directly to a need to change for corporations. The use of fuels that pollute the air and run higher energy costs do not benefit any corporation under the triple bottom line theory in any way. This would lead to a corporation to have to change to renewable energy sources in order to cut costs, please the society shifting focus towards environmental protection and help the environment all at the same time. My conclusion in the paper was that all corporations should be held ethically responsible for knowingly making a negative impact on our environment and not acting proactively to fix it by switching to renewable energy sources. Simply just following what the law tells a corporation to do is the bare minimum and should not be where a corporation stops in its sustainability goals. Doing the bare minimum is not considered being ethical since it is required by law to do so anyways. Corporations have a duty to incorporate corporate social responsibility goals to appease the social and environmental aspects of business. With the way society has progressed and become more involved in politics of business and the environment, doing the bare minimum as a corporation, it's just not acceptable anymore in today's society. All in all, corporations know they have an ethical responsibility to create a better world for us to live in, and it is on them to make the switch to cleaner energy sources in order to make that happen. Thank you.